I think it's time to hit reset on the new collector challenge. Now, in the last video that I posted, we talked about some updates in terms of having some of that sale inventory. We were able to move some of it at our local card show. We actually traded an LE, or better yet, sold it, and then used that to get into an even bigger LE, which still has not sold. And all of these cards that we've had listed on our eBay for a few weeks, if not over a month, they're just sitting there. And I think it's an important lesson because sometimes you buy a card that you think is a really, really good buy, something that is really cool, unique, etc. I mean, Ronald Acuna Jr. numbered out of 10 from the dollar bin. Would have thought that that would move really well. Liquid player, low numbered card. It is from a more niche set, or like Julio Rodriguez Gold Mojo, top player, liquid, low numbered, gold. But it's all sitting on eBay. I have done the typical things that we try, such as just lowering the price, sending out offers to people who are interested. We have made a couple of sales. We did sell the Tyreek Hill from Luminance, which I'm going to show up on screen here. Got a couple of bucks for that. We also sold the Derek Jeter, which was a nice one. We found that in a dollar bin and we're able to get 20 bucks for that. So that's a solid win. But we have so much money just tied up in inventory right now between these raw cards. I sent off 2 cards to a consigner, which we're going to talk about in just a second here. And then we have a couple of cards off at grading. Now, those grades did just pop with PSA. I have not looked, I have not checked, but I know that those will be back soon. So look for an update, hopefully in our next video, on how we did with those grades. But all this stuff is just sitting here, and it's one of the challenges that you have, and I'm sure that you have had when you are trying to get a card business off the ground, etc. When all of your money, when all of your liquidity is tied up in cards, that limits what you can do. There have been opportunities and chances where I have seen a really good deal and I thought that would be cool for the new collector challenge, but we don't have the money for it. And granted, I buy that for me in my card business, but I'm trying to put the new collector challenge first in instances where I think that the deal on the card is going to be a really, really good one. And unfortunately, it really seems like this stuff, despite the fact that it's really cool and I thought that I would do well with it, is not doing well. So what are your options to do in this scenario? We've talked about it before. You can try and go to a card show and just say, hey, would you buy all these cards from me? They comp for X and I would like Y for them. Knowing that you're not going to get full value, knowing that they're going to need to make money from it, etc. It's tougher, if I'm going to be honest, on low-end stuff like this, because this is stuff that's just going to sit in somebody's value box until somebody like me comes along again and is willing to take a shot on it. But given that this stuff hasn't sold, well, who knows whether or not somebody will actually come along and take that shot on it. So I think what most people would do, and this is not necessarily what I would advise, but we're going to do it here because we're a new collector. We don't know anything, and while I'm trying to teach you, I'm also wanting to walk through and show you guys what some of the reasoning on why sometimes I advise against something. And this stuff is all low end enough, and we're into it for so little, if not already, broken even. Like these 3 cards, you've got the Jalen Williamses and then the Trevor Lawrence. Those, I've already made my money. I could get a penny for each of these, and I would still technically profit. So, and then this stuff is all nice stuff, but again, I got this all for anywhere from $1 to $5 each, and I think that they all should at least go for that, if not more, auctioning them off. So what we're going to do is we are going to do something that I advise against, and I'm going to take these to eBay, and I'm going to auction them myself. Now, knowing that the baseball season starts, I mean, technically it's already started. We've had the Japan Series games. A lot of fun, but that's not the real opening day. Real opening day is next Thursday. But knowing that the MLB season is about to start, we want to be able to capitalize on the hype of the new MLB season. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set all of these cards, send them off to auction today on Wednesday, and it's going to be a week-long auction. I'm doing it on my personal eBay, not the Clever Cuban Cards one, the new collector challenge one, but I'm going to be auctioning these off on that eBay page. And the reason why I suggest that you not auction cards off is unless it is something that is super hot, super relevant, a low numbered Ohtani where people are constantly looking for Ohtani cards that are ending soon, you most likely will get less. What I recommend is doing a consigner, which is what we did for 2 cards here. We did it for this Evan Carter, which was numbered out of 25, and then we did it for this Ellie De La Cruz. Both cards have been sitting on eBay. I've lowered the prices a couple of times, have not gotten any movement. So I sent those off to a consigner. But I would also recommend on some of this lower end stuff, as long as we think it'll sell for more than $10, a lot of times I think it's still worth sending to a consigner, because even if you might get a little bit less, which we're going to look at percentages here in a second, even if you're going to get a little bit less, I think that you will still actually get more because they get more eyes. Just last night, I went on over to DC Sports, and again, that's who we used here as a consigner. There are tons of different options though, but I was on their eBay page and I just sorted and said what auctions are running the soonest, and I threw in bids on a ton of different cards, stuff that I might not have necessarily been searching for actively, but I said that's a cool card. I'll throw $3 there, I'll throw $5 there, I'll throw $20 there, etc. I ended up spending like $700. And the big consigners get people who come to their pages that are saying, hey, I'm just looking to buy cards. And they just are going through the auctions that are ending and will bid on things. That's the advantage that they have, is they have so many more eyes. They have so many more people that are looking at their auctions compared to the New Collector Challenge eBay. I've got 17 positive feedback. I'm 100%, but like, that's so low scheme. You're going to need somebody who's looking for Vladimir Guerrero Sr. on the refractor here. You're going to need somebody who's looking at Bryce Harper cards or Julio Rodriguez cards, etc. I probably, with my knowledge and everything that I have done here, I would have either I personally would have taken these to Whatnot for myself, but I would have sent these off to a consigner, but in the spirit of the New Collector Challenge, we're sending these off to auction. So these cards are all going to be on auction on the eBay. And then I'm going to take you on over to the computer here with a little screen recorder to show you what it looks like to do DC Sports in looking at a consigner for some of those higher end items. All right, so this is the DC Sports website. When you come here, you're going to sign in, you'll make an account if you're going to use them. There's a ton of different consigners, lots of different options. I can list through some at the end of the video here, but this is the one that I just signed up for. I use my name, Clever Cuban Cards, but this does not show up at all on the auction when they list my cards. This is just simply my page. It does not matter who I am for this. It's going to be the same. It's on DC Sports, and that's that. So you sign up, you make an account with them, and then you're going to print the submission form, which is this. And you basically have a couple of different options in terms of how you are going to do this. I'm going to zoom in here to make it easier to read. But on this form, you're going to put your username with DC Sports. You're going to put your email. And then you need to check the box of the service that you're selecting. Now, both of the cards that I sent in, I think easily should go for more than $25. The Evan Carter numbered out of 25. The last few comps are all 50 plus. And the Ellie De La Cruz is easily over $25. It's easily over $400. So I chose Express, which is they're going to be listed within 3 business days. Had it been a total, just any amount of cards, you could do 3 cards, you could do 1,000 cards. Those, you have to deal with the standard wait time, which, going back to their main site, is 12 business days right now. So 12 business days is kind of the standard turnaround time that you're getting if you're sending in large volume, lower value items, etc. The reason that I'm sending in the higher value stuff and not this stuff is I'm trying to get this stuff out sooner. I'm trying to get it sold sooner, knowing that opening day is coming. So I'm going to take the shot, auction it off myself, and we're going to do a little bit of an after action report and see how that went. The other option that you can do is the premium service. And that is that you can get it listed within 1 business day guaranteed. However, there is a $5 fee that is being added to each item. So that Ellie maybe could have been worth it. But I also knew that given that I mailed it out yesterday, it's not going to get to them in time to truly capitalize on the opening day hype. It'll be opening weekend, but by the time that it gets up on their eBay, it's going to take another week for that to end. I don't think that it's going to be able to make a huge difference to get it in 1 business day versus 3 business days and have to pay that extra $5 fee. $5 isn't a ton, but hey, every dollar matters, and we're going to try and save that $5 here. So I sent those things up. Basically, all we got to do is pack them up, print out this form, fill it out, and stick this in with your cards that you're sending them. So I mailed those over to DC Sports. We'll see how that goes. I will have an update on those, of course, once those eventually sell. Next week's video probably will not necessarily have the DC Sports update because they won't likely be sold. My plan is to have an update on these lower end cards that we're selling, as well as hopefully a PSA grade reveal. And now, as I mentioned, there are tons of different consigners out there. There's MC Sports, there's PC Sports, there's Probsteins, there's DC. There are a ton of different, Quick Consign's another big one. There are tons of different consigners. All of them have different rates. All of them have different things. I'm going to toss up on screen here what the DC Sports consignment rate is. It depends on the total value of the card. For me, I think all these cards are going to go for at least $25 or more. And I'm going to get 85% of the sales price, which to me is pretty good. I'm going to get 87% myself. And I now don't have to do any of the work of the shipping, of the customer service side of things, as well as, again, I think that I'm going to get more auctioning with them compared to if I were to be selling it with myself. So we'll see how that goes. As I said, if you're doing the 99-cent card, yeah, you're getting 80% of the sales price. That's just unfortunate there. Not ideal for what you're looking at. But I think that it's generally worth it if you are somebody who's small, who doesn't have a big following. If me, Clever Cuban Cards, were to do it, and again, I would just take my talents over to Whatnot. But if I wish to do it, I have the eBay page that has 500 positive reviews, and I have, all of the following here that people might be more likely to see my things. As the new collector challenge, people are not likely to see it, which is why we are sending the higher value stuff. I'm not willing to take as much of a risk there, but on the lower value stuff that I know that I'm probably going to break even or make money on guaranteed, we're going to do it for science. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. This is going to be a big step forward for us, and that this will liquidate a lot of the money that we have tied up in things. It is one of those that I've been saying for videos and videos and videos. As soon as we get this Ellie sold, we're going to do our first giveaway, and I'm ready to do it. We're going to do it. I just need to get that Ellie gone, and we are guaranteed going to have it sold because it is off onto consignment. It's going to sell for what it's going to sell for, and then we're going to be able to do our first giveaway. So if you guys want to see that, if you want to be a part of that, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Going to be really, really fun having a bunch of liquidity again. That's going to be a really, really good thing for us. So will be fun for more updates in the future. Going to be talking about some changes and different perspectives on what we're buying. Maybe we're going to shift into maybe some higher end, a little more expensive stuff, maybe some more things to grade. We'll have to sell, obviously, our slabs, hoping they're gems, but if they 9, still PSA tends to be pretty liquid, so hoping we do well there. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I always appreciate you guys checking it out, liking, subscribing, all that jazz, and of course, we'll catch you in the next one.